So you want to learn how to squat. You might be new, might be a noob, you might have years of experience, I don't know, but you want to learn how to squat. Well, here are maybe, not maybe, 7 steps to help you out in how to squat. And I haven't written them down because I'm going to get distracted right here. Okay, first one, and probably not the most important, but second, third most important here is warm up. You have to make sure your whole body's warmed up. It's not just going to be your legs. I know you're all, when doing the squat, you're mainly using your legs, but your whole body is still being used. It's a compound exercise. You're using your abs, you're using like obviously your legs, your hamstrings, your glutes. Sometimes even when you're doing it, depending how you're holding your traps and your shoulders, that might even hurt. So it's always good either way, no matter what exercise you're doing. It's always good to be warmed up, whether that be 5 to 10 minutes of cardio in a cardio machine, be bicycle, be in a treadmill, whatever it is. I want to say probably anything except the jump rope, since you might be exhausted after that. It's not easy unless you have like a medium good pace. So I want to say do it in a good moderate pace where you're not exhausted afterwards. Just trying to wake your body up, being, hey, you know what? Let's get active. Let's get some blood flowing through your body. And that's really what I recommend when it comes to warming up beforehand. It's important. It will help you prevent. Ooh, it will really help you prevent injuries. And let me just clarify this right now. I am not a doctor. I am not a coach. I did not study anything. No kinesiology. No. Physician, nothing. I am nothing. I am just a dude who is buff and who learned everything and anything from YouTube. So yeah, take that for what it's worth. But continue on. As per me, as you might see right now in the video that I'm playing right now, I really try to activate using dynamic stretches. That helps me out because am I'm very injured. I played sports, so I'm very injured in various places. When I do these various stretches, it helps me out. Sometimes there might be some things that aren't gonna help you out. Just find that out. Might be your lower back. You might use a foam roller. You might need to use the acupressure. Oh, stupid this. Might need to use an acupressure gun. Whatever works for you, as long as you don't feel pain, or at least the minimum amount of pain. You should only feel pain on your quads in slash and or hamstrings and what's the other one? Not your knees. You don't want to feel pain in your knees. Maybe your calves. Calves is not bad. Quads, hamstrings. That's about it. But everywhere else, it's not good. You should probably warm up more. Look up some stretches. Anything you can just to not feel any pain. The second step, and this one is the most important one. At least for me, it is. And it's going to be very controversial. I don't care. It's the most important one. And this is your ritual.
Let's get to the end of the video, alright? Instead of putting the biggest lift last, we'll put the biggest lift first, right? Let's go. Come on, John. Come on. Here we go. Yes, sir. Come on. Come on. You got it. Tight.
Ronnie Coleman, Shaw strength, 20 seconds. Jujimufu, 10 seconds. Does all this time mean they're mentally preparing themselves. They're getting ready. Yes, they are also adjusting. They are also making sure their feet are correct. They're saying, okay, let me get this balance right. You don't want yourself to be, see, this is the middle. You don't want part of your body to be more on this side than the other side, because then the other side is going to be harder to lift and it might fall like a pendulum. You don't want that. That's bad. That's going to hurt you, and that's going to make a lot of noise, and you're going to see and look very stupid. Very stupid. But yeah, your ritual is so important. I don't know what it is that you do. I don't know what it is that is going to help you get to it, but what helps me is just getting the bar, looking left, looking right, making sure the plates are okay, grabbing the bar, just attacking the bar, making sure I'm straight, and just right before I'm about to squat, taking a deep breath. Um, what usually helps whenever you're wearing a belt is making, I want to say compression or just tension. Just basically whenever you exhale, I'm sorry, whenever you inhale, bloat your stomach so you can make some pressure with the belt. And once that happens, I squat. That's kind of my ritual. I've always done it. Honestly, if I don't do it, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be able to squat not even like 50 pounds. It'll feel very weird. It helps me get my hands in place, helps me be balanced, helps me get my legs straight, helps me get my legs good. I know that I'm activating everything that I have to activate. I'm not feeling any pain. So, ritual, easily. Most important step, if anything comes out of this video, is your ritual. The most important step in your squat is your ritual. Now, the third step, or in this case, step three, are your warm up sets. There are people that just fly through them because they just want to work out. And yes, it is fun to move a lot of weight. However, your warm up sets are like your practice sets, and you always want to take practice seriously. So, what does this mean? This means that even if your warm up sets are like boring and you feel that you're not working hard, you're not moving a lot of weight, you need to take it seriously. The reason why I want to take it seriously is because once you get into your working sets, if you don't have that range of motion, if you don't have your ritual down, if you don't have your steps right, if you don't have everything already set, once you're in that position, once you practice and are in that position, then you're going to be doing it differently. Why? Because in your practice sets, you were doing it one way, and now in your working sets, you're doing another, and there's going to be inconsistency. At least for me, it helps. I don't know if there's people who does it differently. I know at least what is different about me when it comes to that is whenever I don't have any weight, I extend more my arms, but that's because of, it feels weird to squat with no weight on the bar. It's just awkward. It's weird. I don't know how to explain it. It's weird, but that's a very important step. Is take your warm up sets, your practice sets, even if you're just scaling up, take them seriously. It will really help you out. It will really help you know when you're attacking your squat and if you're doing it right or wrong. If you think you're not getting the depth right whenever you're warming up, you're not going to get it once you're on your working set. And getting that depth, depending on what you're doing, is very important. It's going to help you engage certain muscles, sometimes even more, depending on that depth. Depending on that depth. As step three, warm up sets. Take them seriously. Everything matters. Do it for a reason. Do it for a purpose. And move heavy weights. Now, step four. Kind of jumped around, but there's no particular order. Step four is have warm up sets. Whether you're building up to a squat, whether you're starting, at least when it comes to squatting, I would say it's really good to have warm up sets. Yes, it's also good to warm up your body, but whenever you're warming up your legs, then you can wake them up. In some cases, you'll see people even who are doing leg extensions, maybe because their knees, maybe because they feel better activation on the quads, or whatever it might be, whatever might help you. Have some warm up sets. It'll help you engage your muscle, and this really works for any other exercise, not just a squat. But it's a real good rule of thumb. Just have some warm up sets. Get the right motion, get the right depth, get to know how your body's feeling that day. Maybe you're not feeling good, and you're like, you know what? I'll just go for some reps. I'll go for more sets. Or maybe you say, I'm feeling good today. Let's put a little bit more weight. It's all gonna be depending on your goal. And if you're saying, well, it doesn't matter how I feel, I just gotta go through it. Well, then keep doing practice sets, keep doing more until you get that feeling of, all right, I have to keep on going or else I'm gonna get tired. Because there's one thing of exercising, there's another thing of warming up. And once that warm up comes too excessive to a point where you're actually just working out, that's where you gotta tone it down. But warm up sets are important. You can't just jump in into 315 or 335, whatever might be the case. If you do, you are crazy. You might get injured, but I don't like to get injured, so I do that. If you don't like to get injured, try it out. For my fifth step, uh, is now the actual squat. You got your ritual down. You know how you're doing. You're warmed up. You have your practice sets. Actually, before your practice sets, because this should be applying to every single one, is how to squat. You go down, go up. That easy, right? No, I wish it were, but it's not. Complications comes in a lot of places. First, balance. It might be very easy for you to want to squat and get up with your toes, yeah. However, once you have a lot of weight or you just are tired or pushing some weight, you might go a little bit forward, and that's very dangerous, especially once the weight gets to your neck. It might crush you, and we don't want that happening to anyone. Anyone. It's not a good idea. So take care of yourself. Make sure that whenever you're squatting, don't squat with just your toes. Use your, I would say, heel and probably the palm of your feet. I know this is your palm, but just the bottom of your feet, whatever what it's called. How I sometimes like to squat is sometimes have my toes go up, and that way I know that I'm using what would be my hands. Terrible illustration, but whatever. I would like to go. I like to put my toes up and then just squat, and I know that all the weight that I have is going to my calves and then to my heels. That really helps me out. I know some people use some weight either on the front of the toes. That way you're aligned. I know there you have the squat shoes that have a little bit of a heel, which helps out with the toes since how it's angled. It depends. It really depends on how you feel. It's gonna depend on how comfortable you are. Really, it all just comes to know yourself, know your body. Make sure you're not hurting yourself. Make sure you're not dangerous. Make sure you're not doing something dangerous, and just practice it. Don't just go in there and try to do something without first practicing. You can't just jump into doing a lot of weight and then you have all the weight in the bar just crushing. Like that can be very dangerous. So, step very important is make sure you're pushing with your feet, not your toes. I know toes are part of your feet, but don't push with your toes, basically. Another important thing would be your breathing. My rule of thumb, probably with anything, is just breathe in when I'm about to do a lift, and then breathe out when I have to push. So for the squat, like I said previously, whenever I'm about to squat or before I'm about to squat and I have a bell or not a bell, I have to go in, oxygen in, and then I'm going down. Once I'm down, and I'll push a little bit. That just helps me out. I've always done that. That has helped me push 4 or 5 pounds. I should be good. Now, if you're doing the opposite, I hope that works for you. Hey, by all means, go for it. But I would recommend doing the other one. I've squatted for a long time, probably 4 or 5 years, and I don't know. Just that pressure against the bell and just breathing in and going down, it just feels right. But let's move on. Step 6. I really hope I'm doing all these steps right. But step 6 is re-rack your bar. Okay, And step 6. Step 6 is another step where it's probably going to be done before you do any type of squat, especially if you're squatting heavy or want to squat pushing weight. It would be your bar placement. I've seen a lot of people in the gym, and trust me, I've seen a lot of people. It's also very dangerous. The whole point of this video is just be careful. Know what you're doing. Is depending on the height of your bar, if you have to pick up yourself and then tiptoe to pick up the bar out of where it's hanging and then go back without any weight, that's easy. Once you do 20 reps with just the bar, you might be tired, but you know what? I'm still fine to able to tiptoe and put it back. But once you have weight in there and once you're tired, or you might be getting a cramp, or you might be very good at using your body and your calves are just hurting, and they're just like, you know what? I just need to re-rack this quick. Having to be able, having needing actually not having to needing to have to get on your tiptoes with a lot of weight and then re-racking, sometimes you won't be able to reach it. You might be so tired from your calves that you won't be able to re-rack it and just let the bar fall down. In a lot of cases, that won't be an issue if you're in a public gym, but if you're in your house, I know at least for me, I'm in the second floor and my mats are not reliable on. They're just Walmart mats. And let me just preface that it's tile floor, so I am not about to break a tile. I am not about to break a tile, so I have to make sure that whenever I'm squatting, I'm getting underneath the bar. Again, whenever I come up, I just come up correctly, get back, and it just hits. It might be very stupid, it might be like a duh moment. However, I've seen a lot of people, and I have seen a lot of people struggle to lift that bar, to having to get on their tiptoes when they're tired, when they have weight on their back, and they don't realize that they just screwed up. And trust me, it is a big screw up. Now, final step, and this step really is just, well, let me just explain it. The final step is record yourself. And I mean recording in two ways. One is actually just, recording yourself, and two is recording your squats. That way, whenever you're starting to squat, you might just start with the bar. Or you might even not start with the bar. You might start with air squats. You might start doing something else with your legs. Maybe you're not able to do a squat, and that's totally fine. If you can build up to doing a squat and then air squat and then build up to putting some weight, and then you're progressive overloading every single time. Hey, wherever you have to start, it's a good opportunity always to work out, and your legs, it's a good foundation. It's the foundation of your body. It's how you walk. It's how you basically drive and do everything you want to do, except be lazy. But even then, you need your legs to be lazy because you're not walking. Well, I am distracting myself from something else. I'm just rambling. I hate being this line. It's so boring. Just check this out. This, it's terrible. It's where I'm stuck right now. Hence why I'm recording right now, because I have nothing else to do. So I'm talking to myself. As other people should look at me very weird. But step 7. Step 7. Record yourself. Record your lifts. If you're starting from a bar, literally just put 45 pounds, just a bar. How many sets you did, how many reps. Next time, do a little bit more. Next time, do a little bit more. After 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, you'll see the progress. And once you see that progress, you're never going to want to stop. You're never going to stop. I can tell you that much. It feels amazing. It does feel amazing. That's the one type of recording. So if you want to break this down, is record yourself. Write your lifts down from whenever you do your leg day, whenever you do your squats. Right now I'm just talking about squats, so we'll just focus on that. So whenever you do your squats, just write down, hey, I did so much. Next time you might do a little bit more. Maybe next time you did a little bit more, now you're sore and now you're like, I don't know if I can push it. Just try to do the same. depending on how you're gonna feel, depending on your warm-up sets, depending on how you're building up and everything. You might say, you know what, I got this in me. If you don't have it in you, you know what, it's fine. Push to where you feel safe until you know that you can do it, and then next time do a little bit more, do a little bit more. Take a little graph. It's gonna go down, then up, down, then up, down, then up. But the whole point is you're going linearly up. That's all that matters. And then have fun and be safe. Step 7. Breaking down to 2 steps. Broken down into A and B. We're now talking about B. B is record yourself with your phone. Very important. Once you have it down, then you'll know if you actually do have it down because you're recording yourself. You're saying, okay, am I getting the right depth? Is the bar maybe going a little bit forward? Maybe it's going a little bit backwards. Maybe it's not straight. I can work on it. You can always get better at lift, especially your squat. Maybe you're not going to parallel. You're saying, you know what? I actually want to go to parallel. I don't want to go any deeper. I'm scared of injuries, but I want to get the range of motion correctly. Well, then a good way to notice is either someone else to tell you, but then if you're not going to believe them, then there's a problem right there. But someone to tell you, or you record yourself, you tell someone to record you. You honestly, it's so easy. Just put it against a weight, put it against a wall, incline it, boom, have it right there. Don't be embarrassed. Honestly, it's going to help you out. It's part of your fitness journey, is getting to know if you're doing it correctly. And that's very important, because if you don't have that range of motion, you might be thinking that you had the depth when you actually don't, and you might be missing out on some gains. And that's actually true. You might be missing on some gains. The range of motion is very important in many lifts, not just a squat. But especially more if maybe you're doing powerlifting, or just like you want some credentials in YouTube because you want to upload videos and you say, oh, am I getting the right data? They're going to judge me. What's going to happen? Record yourself, watch yourself, correct yourself, be honest with yourself, and then just look back at everything you've done. Maybe you want to record yourself, and instead of writing it down, you want to record yourself. Hey, you know what? This day I squatted like this. Now this day I'm squatting like this. Is my depth still correct? Am I going a little bit forward? Maybe am I tired? What's happening? Do I have to rest more? Whatever it is, you have to be critical thinker. Whatever it is, you got to be a critical thinker. So all this is going to matter, and all this does matter. It's going to help you be that much better the next time you're squatting, and this much safer next time you squat. And it's very important. And yeah, those are my 7 tips. Remember, your ritual, probably the most important one. I'm gonna die saying that. I don't care. Ritual, the most important step in any and all sets. But I might as well read them out. Remember, step 1 is make sure your body's warmed up. Step 2, the most controversial one, but it's your ritual. Step 3, make sure you have those warm-up sets. Step 4 is treat every set as a working set. And again, I probably interchanged them. You know what? Whatever. Step 4, warm-up sets. Step 3, treat every set as your working set. I don't care, okay? Just make sure you do all of them. Step 5 is make sure you go down correctly. Make sure you're breathing. It's happened to me before. I'm doing exercise and I'm not breathing. I'm getting red and my veins are popping out and it looks amazing. But after I'm finished, I am very lightheaded and I want to go home. And that's not good because I'm not finished. Again, step 5, up and down, down and up. If you feel like you can't go back up, just drop the weight. Who cares? Again, your safety comes first. Step 6, re-rack and make sure the bar is correctly placed. Very important. I don't want you getting tired and then suddenly having to get on your tiptoes, and now the bar is hitting you and you're tired and your knees gave up, and now you're on the floor crying and maybe you pooped yourself, and now it's just terrible. Don't do that, okay? Make sure you do everything correctly. Make sure you do it safe. Make sure you know what you're doing. If you're not sure, go ahead and ask. There's nothing wrong with asking. And step 7 is record yourself. Again, just record your gains. Make sure that what you're doing is correct. And if you're not sure what you're doing, there's a lot of YouTube videos out there that are going to help you out. This is just one of them. But just how I learned how to squat from YouTube, you probably can too. And hopefully you enjoy the video. Make sure to subscribe, hit the like button. Comment down below what else you want to learn. Want to learn how to... Oh, the sun is really kicking my ass. You want to learn how to bench? Maybe you want to learn how to deadlift. Just tell me in the comment section down below and I'll make the video. Even if you don't, I'm probably going to make it. So, goodbye.